Hello everybody and welcome back to Magna Carta 2. In the last video, we came to Azurebell Forest as Juto, Celestine and Rue. And in this video, we are going to make our way through the forest. We're going to clear out the Northern Forces soldiers and we're going to fight Zebasa, the enemy that is causing so much havoc here on Highland Island. All of the island guards are having real difficulties getting rid of it, and by doing this we should be able to finally liberate Highland Island from the clutches of the Northern Forces. So we're going to go ahead and get started. We're going to start making our way through the forest. Our first objective is going to be to kill 50 Northern Forces soldiers, and by doing this we will be able to make Zebasa appear. So there are going to be a lot of soldiers in the forest, definitely more than 15, so feel free to grind if you need to. There's probably near double that amount, and at this point I'm getting just over 300 experience per enemy, which is a pretty decent amount of experience, so it may be worth fighting a lot. It might be a good opportunity to grind. It's completely up to you depending on how you feel, if you just want to get the area over and done with, or maybe you're a little bit behind in level. But this shouldn't be too difficult of a task for you, because it's just Northern Forces soldiers. It's the same soldiers that we've been seeing since day one. In this area, Celestine and Rue are both going to be able to generate con, so they shouldn't have much difficulties generating enough con to keep up. I'm going to chain with Rue and have Celestine heal me, and by doing that I should be able to keep my party in good health. You are going to run into vertigo status effects in here, but I'm not really too terribly worried about it. I sort of mentioned that when we were playing as Zephy, Argo, and Cosel. You're going to get vertigo and silence in this area, but I generally just try to ignore it because I don't find that it really affects me a whole lot. You can most likely get Celestine to heal it for you if it is bothering you, or you can use lozenges to get rid of it. There is a store set up near the first pillar that we came in from, so you can do that if you wish, if you're having any sort of difficulties or if you need any other sort of supplies.
Alright, let's go!
And when you have Celestine and Rue in your party, Rue should be able to paralyze the enemy, and Celestine will be able to put a frost nip and frostbite on your enemies, which may give you a bit of an advantage as well if the battle for some reason is becoming very, very long and drawn out. You'll also have some of the island guards coming in to help you, but again, they're really not much help. They're sort of just there as a novelty. They're really not going to do any sort of substantial damage that's really going to help you along. But it's sort of nice that they're jumping into the fight. They're not just standing by and letting us do it, at least. They really want to fight to take back their island. So if I take a look at the map, there are two paths that you could have chose as you come through the forest. If you've chosen the path that I've taken, what you can do is defeat 14 out of 15 soldiers before you come to this pillar. And what I recommend doing is saving at the pillar, because as you fight the last soldier, that pillar is actually going to be blocked off by the boss. And at that point, you would either be forced to go back and use the other pillar if you needed it, or you would need to just save after the boss.
My sword will work on this guy.
So now all I have to do is just defeat this one lone soldier, and we can then fight Zebasa as he will now appear. Okay, so this is the famous Zebasa. He is a giant Trewa mixed with plant bug gene, as the soldier had explained to us a little bit earlier. Now this guy is not a Sentinel. He only has 1 health bar, so once you've destroyed the first health bar, that's it. He won't regenerate another one. So you don't have to worry about 2 health bars here, which is one good thing. So definitely not as durable or as tough as a Sentinel. The one thing to keep in mind, though, is that he can do paralysis and stun against you. And I think that's the most damning thing with this boss. Paralysis and stun, neither of which are fun to have, will cause you to pretty much stop in place. He can punch you, and it will kind of knock your character dizzy, and you won't be able to move for quite some time. And this is very damaging when you're trying to chain effectively, because it's going to completely stop your chaining, and it's going to leave you open to attack. Now what I've done with Juto is I've actually put a command on his common board, which makes him completely immune to stun. And Rue is immune to stun by default because she's a lightning user. So using those two, I'm going to successfully chain my attacks together and defeat Zebasa. And Celestine's just gonna kind of be there. I'm gonna have her heal when she needs to and do damage when she can. But I really shouldn't need Celestine for this battle. I'm pretty much just depending on Juto and Rue to do the trick for me. You can also use the katana with Rue if you prefer, but for Highwind Island, I just prefer to use shurikens for Rue. They're a lot more effective in my opinion. And there is also a anti-paralysis accessory that was available in Obazet before we left. So if you've picked that up and you don't have the command, then you can also use that on Juto or Celestine if you wish. Other than that, he doesn't have anything to really worry about in my opinion. He's not terribly strong, and if you have 3-on-1 like we have here, he's severely outnumbered. He isn't quick, he doesn't move around a lot, and his attacks really don't do a lot of damage, so you really don't have anything to worry about. As long as you can do successful chaining, you should really have this battle in the bag, no problem. And even if you do get stunned or you do have paralysis, there are items to treat that. Celestine can probably help you, and it's just gonna slow the battle down, but really not make it any more difficult.
If you're tired, I'll take your... Finally! That's the last of them! I wonder if Zeppi and the others are okay.
Well then, shall we take a break for now?
Princess. Rue, I see that you're all okay. Yes, ma'am. The mission was a success.
Hey, must be nice to make it back to your old home.
Yeah. Thanks, guys. I really mean it.
Isn't that great, Juto?
We finally retook the island.
Yes, at long last. Let's go to the village.
Alright, so now you have your full party. So at this point you can change your formation and allocate any of your skill points and do any of that stuff that you might need. And we should also check in on the village. We have a couple of side quests to turn in. We need to speak to both of the island guards about getting rid of all of the ballistas and also defeating Zebasa. Because we've done both of those things, we'll be able to complete both of those side quests, which is going to give you a big chunk of additional experience. Again, very easy quests because they're part of the main storyline. They're impossible to miss. And it just kind of provides you with a nice little bonus. Alright, so now that that is done, we should go and speak to the mayor and tell him the good news.
Princess!
It's been a long time. It is inexcusable that I took so long.
Gramps!
Juto! Oh my, you're alive!
Yeah.
Thank goodness! You're a sight for sore eyes! I'm glad you're alright!
Were you hurt, Gramps? They didn't do anything bad to you, did they?
Everyone suffered during the occupation by the northern forces. But a while ago, they suddenly just up and left. And I tell you, things finally got quiet in the village again.
I'm glad to hear it.
Anyway, I want to thank you very much for saving our island, Princess.
Not at all. You must have been disappointed at our powerlessness while the Northern forces occupied Highwind Island. I apologize from the bottom of my heart.
Well, that's all in the past now. I'm sure that with a little time, the villagers will come to understand the position you and the Southern forces were in. By the way, Juto, Melissa isn't with you? I'm afraid she's been missing ever since the day our island got caught up in this war.
Melissa's in Abazet. She was hurt during a battle, so she's being treated now, I guess you could say. She sends her regards.
She did she? It must be the will of Lestrada. Just so long as she's alive, that's the important thing. In any case, allow me to thank you again on behalf of the village. You have our undying gratitude. Now you all must be exhausted. Please sit down and rest.
I'm gonna go say hi to everyone in the village.
You do that, everyone will be very surprised.
Alright, so now we can head out to the village. You'll have all of your party members around. And you can go and speak to everybody if you want to, but what you're really going to want to do is go and speak to Zephy. If you speak to Rue, she'll tell you that she's at the observatory, and if you're not really sure where to go, you can also bring up the mini-map, and you'll be able to see that orange exclamation point on the map to see where to go next.
Princess, so this is where you got to.
Yes. When I came here, I couldn't help thinking back to everything that happened.
Thank you. I really mean it.
No. The Southern forces should have dealt with this in the first place.
I always had faith that you would rescue the island. I knew that you would keep your word, no matter what.
But it came too late. I'm sorry.
No. What matters is that you managed to take it back. Princess, lately, you've had a depressed look on your face. Did something happen?
To tell you the truth, I have a favor to ask of you.
What is it?
Juto, as of today, I want you to leave the Counter-Sentinel unit.
Why would you ask me to do that?
To keep the island safe from any more invasions, we're going to station troops here. I want to put you in complete charge of the island's defense and reconstruction. This is your home, so I can relax knowing it will be in good hands.
Are you ordering me to stay behind on Highwind Island? But Melissa and I still haven't...
Juto, do you think you're capable of fighting her?
What?
I don't mean to sound so cold, but the day may come when you will have to kill her. If it does, will you be able to raise your sword to her without hesitation?
That's why you're telling me to get out while I can? So I can avoid that?
That's right. I really do want to help you, but I can't do anything more. I'm sorry. This is the best that I can do.
Why are you...
Earlier you asked me a question, remember? Are you marrying Alex because you love him? The answer is no. I needed more power in order to take back Landsheim. And so, in exchange for Alex's backing, I promised that I would marry him. Right now, I'm just a puppet dancing on other people's strings. The real power is in the hands of General Headquarters. If the Southern forces roll out in full force to attack Melissa, I won't be able to make excuses for her. When that happens, I'll have to give the order to kill her.
Princess...
I don't want you to see me do that. So I'm begging you, please, stay on the island. You won't be able to fight Melissa, Juto. So if you're going to quit, now is your only chance. Goodness, I talked forever. Come on, let's go back.
A puppet. Just how fragile is this armor that she has so securely strapped herself into? It was in this agonized look on her face that I thought I caught a glimpse into her violently trembling heart.
Ah, Princess, did you get a good night's sleep, I hope?
Yes, it was the best sleep I've had in ages.
Juto, how about you? Oh my, you're not looking well at all.
No, I was so excited about being back here I couldn't get to sleep.
I see. That's understandable. Anyway, seeing you grown into such a fine warrior, well, it fills me with mixed feelings.
Gramps.
We've been through some hard and trying times, but eventually we managed to get our island back. I plan to work extra hard to rebuild it.
Yeah, and I plan to do everything I can to help you.
Thank you. I really appreciate you saying that. Speaking of which, I have a bit of a favor to ask of you.
What?
You know, I hate to ask you to do such a thing, but I couldn't possibly entrust it to one of the villagers.
What is it?
Well, you see, it's... do you remember a place called Windsong Caverns?
Yes, that's the cavern where the Guardian was discovered, isn't it?
The entire time the Northern forces were on the island, they were up to something in there.
They were?
Over a period of time, they took several villagers into the caverns, and not one of them was ever seen again.
They never came back?
No. I don't know what went on inside those caverns, but I don't think that any of them are still alive. I want to go and collect their belongings, but not a single one of the villagers will go near the place. They're terrified that they won't come back alive either.
I understand. I'll go.
I hate to ask.
Gramps, I'll be fine. I'm not the same man I used to be. Something like this would be no big deal.
I'll go too.
No, Princess, I can't ask you to.
It was the Southern Forces' blunder that's to blame for the island ending up like this. So please, let me atone for it.
You would do this for us? I truly am grateful to you, Princess Rosefilda.
There's really no need for you to do this, Princess.
No, let me go.
All right.
Rue, we need to talk.
What can I do for you, Princess Rosefilda? In that case, I will accompany you. There is no telling what might happen in the caverns.
Alright, so we are now going to go to the Windsong Caverns with the party of Juto, Zephy, and Rue. You aren't able to choose which party members you have. I do believe that Argo, Celestine, and Crocel are all down at the beach, but you aren't able to go down there and ask for their assistance, so you are going to be stuck with a fixed party again. So before you head to Windsong Caverns, I suggest going ahead and fixing up everybody's skill points, fixing equipment, and doing anything else that you might need. There's also a shop nearby, and there should also be a pillar that you can save at somewhere. So we're going to go ahead and head over towards the Windsong Caverns in the next video. Thank you all so very much for watching, and I hope that I will see you next time.